My name is Ian Badgley, and I'm the archaeologist of the National Capital Commission. My responsibilities focus on protecting and managing archaeological resources on NCC land and other lands managed by the federal government in the National Capital Region. The erosion of archaeological sites is truly a global crisis. It's occurring around the world. There's nothing good about the erosion of these sites, but it is teaching us in the National Capital Region how very little we know about the original inhabitants of the area. The 14 pre-contact sites that we know of in Limi Lake Park are at the hub of a vast communications and trade network that extended across northeastern North America as early as 6,000 years ago. This was a meeting place. People would come here to renew kinship ties, to trade. The network peaked about 1,500 years ago and then drops off, but it doesn't disappear. It's the products that change. More recently, as a meeting place, foodstuffs were brought in from other areas. Corn, squash, pumpkins. Quinoa seeds were traded all the way up from Virginia, for example, as early as 3,000 years ago. Most of the material that we find here is of local origin, though, and was extensively exploited by all the peoples that camped at this site. We also see a great variety in terms of the pottery that's coming into the area and the people who are making the pottery here. All sorts of different decorations, motifs, styles of making pottery. We recently recovered a pot that dates to 1400 AD, roughly 600 years ago, that has never been seen in the region before. A second artifact besides the pot is a projectile point in a style that dates to between 5,500 and 6,000 years ago. This was found at a site presumed to be 4,000 years old. Another of the artifacts is in a kind of stone that comes from Lake Mistassini, as I mentioned, about 1,000 kilometers to the northeast. But the shape of the projectile point comes from Illinois, 1,500 kilometers to the southwest. So this is the area where the raw material transported into the area and the concept met. We're also finding the local style of pottery is distinctive. It's all of the same period, approximately 2,000 years old to 1,600 years old, and yet it's different from the contemporaneous pottery in other regions. It characterizes the local population that was using this area on an annual basis. One of the NCC's main activities in archaeology is the annual public archaeological dig, which we hold at this site. We've been holding it here since 2014, and unfortunately this year we've had to cancel the dig due to the COVID-19 crisis. I have a small crew working here now, composed of summer students and 2 assistants. This is a particularly interesting part of the site that was used as a camping area in the past, some 3,000 to 1,600 years ago. We're getting new information on the way people settled into this region some time ago. So it's excavated by layers. We have different layers in the soil, and we record the artifacts according to those different layers. Back in the lab, once they're analyzed, we will put the plans together and have a better idea of how the people who lived here were organizing themselves in space and what kind of activities they were conducting. The goal is to develop a strategy. We know we can't save everything, so the goal is to develop a strategy whereby we can focus rescue excavations on parts of the site that are most threatened and hold the most significant cultural information from the past. The more we work on these sites, the better understanding we have of the material culture and ways of life of the First Nations, who are the original inhabitants of the region.